Hello everyone, and thanks for stopping by to Scrap and Craft with Terry. Today we're going to just do a quick and easy envelope project. So we're going to go ahead and get started. If you like my video, I just ask that you give me a thumbs up and check out my other ones. Now I'm just using one of these junk mail envelopes, and it measures, let's see, about 8 3/4 by 3 7/8. So I want a skinnier envelope. So what I did was, where my flap was, I just went up to this part right here and I cut that off. I left all of this, the security stuff in there. I left all of that, and I just cut the white flap off. Okay. Then all I'm going to do is, along with these two things that stick up here, these, I'm just going to fold this over and I'm going to glue that down. Okay. So that's easy enough. I think I'm going to be using a little bit of art glitter glue today, and a little bit of my glue stick. So we'll see how that goes. Now, of course, my art glitter glue is not going to run out very first thing. It's almost like it knows what's going on. Okay. So how's everyone doing today? It's a new week. The days in the week sure are flying by, aren't they? There, I had to pause you for a minute so I could mess with it again. It wasn't cooperating. So anyway, the days and the weeks sure are flying by. Just doesn't seem like it's in April already. They say time flies when you're having fun. Have we been having fun? Fun crafting, right? Now, to me, crafting is just a general term for junk journaling or scrapbooking or flower making or anything like that. I just call it crafting. All right. So that kind of wrinkled a little bit, but probably should have used my Fabri-Tac. Okay. Now, what I want to do is, before I forget, I'll just go ahead and cut these tops open, just the top and bottom open just a little bit, or should I say the two sides. We don't have to cut them too far. It's just that little tiny bit to open the envelope, and we're going to do that on both sides. I wanted it narrower because I didn't want a real wide pocket. I was shooting for a little narrow pocket. Now, I didn't have to do that. What I was intending to do was draw this line across here. I could do it on my paper cutter, but I'll just cut it with my scissors. I want to cut, now, back it up now. What I want the length of this envelope to be, or this pocket, I want it to be 5 1/2. 5.5 is what I want it to be. That's almost close. And I have a whole bunch of folds in here, which was why I was confused at what I was doing. Trying to figure out where I wanted my pocket to be. But all of these little folds will be covered up, so it'll be just fine. All right. So there's my 5.5. Now this little pocket here on the bottom, I want it to only be like 2¼ inches high. Okay, so that's why I had them marks there, because I want to cut this off so I didn't have to cut that. Yeah, just make an extra little cut, I guess. There we go. Like I say, these will be covered up, so they'll be just fine. This is going to be the back. For whatever reason, I decided that I liked the envelope folded this way better. Not a clue why. You can fold it whichever way you want. I'm going to go ahead and cover both sides. So if you want it as a floating pocket, then it'll be completely finished. If you don't want it as a floating pocket, then you don't have to cover the back. But I'm going to go ahead and cover the back also. So the paper that I want to put on here and on my pocket, I'm going to use this blue polka dot. And it's like just a little baby blue color. So I'm just going to do my glue from here down. And I might just cut it a little bit. Just so I will be able to fold this back. And then I'll be able to trim it off. And then I'll still have some to use for my pocket. Let's bring this back over here. So I don't know if I said what the width of this was after I took that off, but it's about 3 3/8 wide this way. Seeing how that art glitter glue just seems to make everything so wet and wrinkly. I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac. I could use my glue stick, but I'm not going to. I can use my glue stick on my tag. So, has anybody started any new projects? Anything exciting that you'd like to share? Okay, so let me see. I'm going to lay this down, turn this over, just kind of stick it down, and then I can trim it. Okay, now as long as I don't cut my pocket open, we'll be just fine. And I'll have to check and make for sure that my edges are all glued down in my corners. Everything. And I think they are. Okay. Looks good to me. Now when we turn this pocket back over, we just want to make for sure that everything lines up. Okay, but first we're going to put our paper on our pocket. And I'm only going to, well, maybe I should go just a little above it. I think I will. And then the bottom of it will be sealed also. I didn't trim that very close. I think that's better. So let me go just a little above it. Just make sure you don't get glue in the opening of your envelope or you'll glue it shut. We don't have to do this part because we're not going to see that. Okay, now we can just trim this off. Now if you think that maybe you're not going to like that showing when you get in your pocket to get your tags out, you can cover that up. Just stick a little piece of paper down in there and glue it in place, and then you won't be able to see it. Now I just want to use my ruler and run this across there a little bit just to kind of score that. So it'll make it a little bit easier to fold it up. Pretty sure I'm on camera. And then I'll just use my ruler. Let me turn it over this way. And then that should fold right up nice. I just have to make for sure that it's straight on my sides. Because now that's a little bit thicker. And then we'll just use our bone folder and fold that down good. And I think it worked well wrapping the bottom, because now our other piece can just come down in here somewhere and it'll be good. Okay. Now I want to do a thumb notch in each of these. I don't want a real deep, let me see. I can't have a real deep thumb notch on this one unless I trim this. I could probably trim this. If I have to trim it a little bit more, I will. I'm going to go ahead and cut my thumb notch on both layers, because then it'll show against this. So we're just going to hope that we get it somewhat centered. So hopefully that won't be too deep. and it won't. So once we ink it, you'll be able to see it. So let's go ahead and ink it now. Make sure that it's deep enough. And if it's not deep enough, then I'm going to cut it just a little bit more, and I can always trim this. No, I think that'll be just fine. I think that'll be just fine, I think. They don't always have to be real deep. And then I'm just going to go ahead and... Do I want to cut through both on this? I probably could. So if it is reversible, you could put 2 tags in. I'm only going to put 1 tag in this today, but you could put a tag in facing this way, and you could put a tag in facing this way. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it through both. And again, I'm not going to cut it real deep. So we'll go ahead and ink that. Now I should have waited until after I put my other paper on there to cut the top one. But we'll be able to cut that out. I have to ink this before I fold my pocket up and glue it, because it's just so much easier. I would be able to do this, but... And then I want to glue the bottom, ink the bottom, just highlight it a little bit. Okay. So that's what it looks like so far. Now, I'm going to go ahead and glue my pocket up. Maybe before I glue my pocket up, I should put my back paper on. Now, this is what's going to be on my tags. It's like a whole bunch of postmarks. So I figured the colors in this paper would go good with the tags, because I didn't have any more of this polka dot paper. So I'm just going to glue this on the back, and I think it'll match pretty good. So I'm just going to go down so far because this paper is not overly long, so I want to make for sure that it goes all the way down. I don't want it to be too short at the top, I guess is what I should have said. And now if you don't have junk mail envelopes, you can just use regular, store-bought envelopes, or you could fold a piece of paper to the size that you need. I have plenty, so I might just have to add a little tiny bit more glue to this end. Yeah. Put it on kind of cockeyed, but I'm not going to try to take it back off, because it won't matter anyway. And there is very, very light hints of blue in here also, which would go with the blue in this. So I think it'll be just fine. Make sure that you don't glue the end of your pocket shut. Now I have to make sure I don't cut my envelope open. I'm just going to go right across here. Now let's see if I can just cut that out. Yes, that worked well. I like it when a plan comes together. Okay. Now I'm going to ink this also in blue. And that covered up the window. The seam that we made is covered up. Now I think what we can do, before I glue my pocket up, is I might want to round my corners. I don't think it should be too thick, so we'll give it a whirl. We'll try. See if this will cut it. Oh yes, but it should go in just a little bit farther. No, maybe not. Let's see if this does. Might almost be too thick. Let me try the big one. Yeah, I think it's too thick. I want to see what it looks like from the other side. Oh, that's the wrong one. Well, we'll just go with the round that this one puts on. Maybe it just looks like it didn't round too much, but I guess it did. Okay. All right, now we can glue up our pocket. Just going to glue the two sides. Make sure you have your sides as even as possible. Looks like I got a little paper over here I have to trim off. I'm always afraid I'm going to cut my envelope open. And then I would have to re-glue it. That might not be fun. Okay, now this is what I'm going to put on here for my decoration. Now, my thought was, seeing as how I was using this with the postage stamps on, I would use this. It just says airmail on it. Looks like it has a stamp on it. And then up here, I had these two little faux postcards. Had a little, like a little stamp image and a little, like where it had been stamped at the post office. But it didn't show up very good. There's a little bird on it and a little lady and a little doggy. So I just drew some lines like what would be for addresses. And then I have a small postage stamp, and I only inked like 3 of the little lines and lightly stamped in red there. So I thought that would make it look like little postcards. So I thought I would put them on here for decoration, something like this. And I just inked them in red because we have blue and red both in here. So I just thought that I would incorporate both colors, that is. So I want this something like this. So this could be like a little travel pocket that you could write little travel notes on your tags. Better set that up. It's wanting to run over. And then I'm going to glue this down. This one I had to trim to begin with because it was too long. So I'm going to put this down here. Now my thoughts was, because I had to cut this off, I would put some lace down here just to cover that. And then I'm going to use this lace on my tags also. So I just want to cut it off right there. And I think that's the right side. Okay. Now let me put this on here for a minute. So now my tags, I had these pre-cut. Now what I should have, I used my fancy tag cutter when I made these. Now, if you make them as you're doing your project, it would be easier to glue your paper on, if you was going to glue paper on it, and then put it in your tag cutter. Otherwise, you just have to cut around the design, which is really not that hard, but... And this has an opening on the back, but I'm not going to use the hole. I think I'm just going to make little circles and just put over that, just so the hole doesn't show. So hopefully I remember to do that, right? Now I'm going to use my glue stick on this because I found that worked pretty good. It's just sometimes when I've used a glue stick, I have found that it didn't hold very good. I guess that's why I'm just not a huge fan of glue sticks. So I just cut around it and cut it out. Lately I've been cutting a lot of tag shapes, and setting them aside. So if I need a tag, all I have to do is pull one out and decorate it. And I like that. I've been making some envelopes, small envelopes, like for pockets and stuff like that. So I've been having fun. That's what I did some this weekend, and then I've been working on them a little bit. Okay, so now I have 3 of my tags that's inked in blue. I have 3 of them done, except for my lace on them. And then I'm going to ink this one in red. And let me do the back before I forget. So I have 3 sizes, because when I was cutting these, I was cutting them out of like scrap pieces of lightweight cardstock. Oh, I think I'm off of the table. So it's like a stair step. So let's see, this one is 3 inches tall, 2 inches wide. All of these little ones are 2 inches wide. This one is 3.5. Oh, about 3 3/4. 4 1/4, and then my big one is 6.5 by 3 inches. So I want to just go off and do my circles to put over these holes. I'm just going to punch out some little circles. Just use my small circle punch, glue these on, and then I'll be back. Okay. So all I did, cut my circles out, just used my glue stick, run it around on there and stuck them over the hole. Now the paper that I used is the same paper that's on the back, because when this is in the envelope, and we can go ahead and stick it in there. Or I should say when it's in our pocket. Then the paper matches the back paper. Cool, huh? All right, so I have to put my lace on here. I went ahead and put my lace on the other ones while I was off. Made better sense. So this is a bigger tag, so we'll make it just a little bit longer. Doesn't have to be overly long. And I'm just stapling them on. Okay. So now all we have to do is put them in our pockets, and our project will be complete. So we'll go ahead and put the big one in the back where it was. Now you can go on and you can decorate these more. I'm not going to decorate them more. I like the paper, but you could go through and put tags, flowers, whatever on. Or you can leave it like that and decorate it when you get ready to use it. So that sits down in there nice. And then I only did the 3 sides on this. Let me run my ruler down in there a little bit. I should have done it when I first glued it. Didn't even give it a thought. Make sure that our pocket didn't get closed off too much. Okay, so we'll have 2 pockets up here. So I can put my little bit taller pockets in the back. And I can put my 2 shorter pockets in the front. And we have a pretty stuffed little envelope pocket here. What do you think? I think that turned out pretty cute. And then when you pull your tags out, you see your little postcards. So let me know down in the comments what you think. And I hope you come back to see me for my next video. And until then, everyone, I hope you have a wonderful day and happy crafting. Bye for now.